So, welcome to my vlog. It's Sunday, and this is going to be a bit of a, I guess, proof of concept here. Software developer, so of course, maybe even a minimally viable product, if you will. But we're going to shoot something somewhat different than what I usually do. Instead of just one topic, it's going to run a bit long. Hopefully, well, hang out, see where I go with this, and let me know what you think and what I should do and how to do it better. But right now, I'm sitting outside the Normie gym. I'm about to go in and do a quick workout. Well, actually, it's not a quick workout. It'll take me a while. We're hitting legs. I always hit legs on Sunday. Doesn't matter what my CrossFit gym is doing on Monday. We hit legs today because I'm rested up. And for me to get to a 405 back squat, I have to do legs pretty hard. So we're going to go in. It's going to be leg extensions, leg press. We'll either do hack squats or pendulum squats, and then overhead squats. The overhead squats at the end, I should be able to get up to 95 pounds pretty easily. What the overhead squats really are about, though, is being able to, it's about mobility, really. So being able to be in that position, squat to depth, which is really hard to do when you're holding any weight over your head in a good position. The mobility for your chest, everything, your shoulders, everything. If you don't have everything right, your ankle mobility, overhead squats will show off all of your deficiencies in the most humiliating way possible. So always fun to do in front of a bunch of strangers, right? We're also going to hit chest. My left shoulder has been bothering me, like you really care. But so that's been kind of messing up my progress on getting, I can do 225 for singles. For me to consider it done, I need to be able to do a 5x5 with 225 on the bar. We're doing 205 right now. But like I said, my shoulder's been bothering me, so I've been laying off of it. So we'll do chest press, seated chest press with one of the machines. We'll try dumbbell bench press, and we'll see where we go from there. I need to find some other ways to hit chest and upper body, so I can keep developing, even though I'm avoiding actually getting onto the bar. Yeah. So anyway, let me go do this. And I don't like filming in the gym, but we'll see what happens. We'll have some fun. All right, let's keep going. All right, workout's all finished, and oof, hit legs really hard. Went up on weight for everything. By the time I got to doing overhead squats, it was kind of funny. I grabbed the empty bar and tried to do, yeah, just tried to do a hang snatch to get into position, and it wasn't happening. So I went, got one of the just, they don't have PVC pipes. They have these really light bars. So I went and grabbed one of those and worked with it for a few reps just to get my body to go into that position, because I cooked myself on everything. I went the pendulum squats. I went up. Well, I kept the weight the same, but I went up in reps. What's that? And all like that. But I hate filming in the gym because it's one of these things. Either one, I don't want to be a fitness influencer particularly. The reason I'm shooting fitness content is because I believe it should be, as somebody who's technical, being fit should be a part of your lifestyle. Because what I've found since I've gotten into CrossFit and gotten more into fitness is I feel like I think better. I'm able to think deeply for longer, and my impulse control, if you will, is better. In meetings, people say some really silly things. I'm sure you can relate. And the impulse to say something unfortunate is very strong. And since I've gotten more into fitness, I'm able to keep that buckled down better, and just be more patient with people. So there's a lot of benefit besides just simply look. The number of people that I know younger than me who have had heart attacks and have severe physical limitations because of their lack of fitness, it makes no sense to me. Um, and no, going to the gym isn't fun. But I kind of wonder why does something have to be fun for you to do it? And it's sure it's good for you. Okay, is that not good enough? There's times where doing those pendulum squats, they suck. They are the worst thing on the planet so far. But they also, the benefit that they are giving me for regular back squats is amazing. I'm squatting deeper I believe, because of the pendulum squats. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. I'm still squatting deeper, and I attribute it to those pendulum squats helping me do that. So the whole thing, at CrossFit, people, oh, that was a fun workout. It's sarcastic fun, but I'm kind of like, well, why does it have to be fun? It's, hey, I can go off my blood pressure medication now because of this stuff. I don't take my ADHD medicine anymore. Maybe I should. But, across the board, I'm healthier. I don't get sick. Like I said, I can get into my office, lab, and I can just go to town and I don't get tired. I can just go after it. So fitness to me is pretty important. And it's something that I believe, as somebody who wants to be a good software developer, you should be fit. You don't have to be, a CrossFit Games athlete. You don't have to go to that level, but you should be at least, and I have no idea what measurement to use. You make it up yourself. But you should test it. That's one of the things with CrossFit that I think is awesome is you can actually test it. You can do the workouts and you can sit down and look at the metrics from your workouts and see, are you getting fitter or not? This year, I did 25.2, which was a repeat of 22.3. Well, when I did it originally, I was scaled and I don't think I made it to the chest to bar pull-ups, which is the last phase. This time I RX'd, I did all the pull-ups and I got to scaled pull-ups. And I was doing double unders, which in 22.3, when it was originally done, I didn't do. So I've progressed. I can say I'm better than I was then. And as a matter of fact, I can look back at how much, I could back squat, I could shoulder press, I could deadlift, across the board. Everything is much higher now. And I'll also say I can look back to what I was doing in 2022 for my current employer. I can look back at my tech skills. And it's funny, I'm a senior developer. My title is a solution architect, but I'm a software developer at the end of the day. My DevOps skills are head and shoulders better. I'm developing as a site reliability engineer now. So this stuff all relates back and forth. Fitness, tech, to me, they're the same. They're just all of it's just technology. And I'll keep saying that. So right now, I've got to go shopping. The freaking dogs chewed up one of the beds in the crates. It had the top was fuzzy, and I would say don't get that type of bed. The type of beds that I get, I think Kong makes them. I'll have to see. No, I hate filming in the gym, and I'm not going to take you with me shopping. You can go to you know what shopping looks like. So let's go get this done and keep this moving. So home from the gym, got done with all the shopping. Oh my God, the echo in here. So wanted to show you my office. So I've shot a lot of videos in here already, but I've never really talked about my office. And what we're hearing is that is Sammy, who is otherwise known as Pandemonium. That is Carly, and we'll explain the floor in just a moment. And over here in this corner, we've got Trap, and you can see on the wall from them laying down into there. But this is my office. So it's a 20 by 12 shed that was here when we moved in, but it was not finished. This was just bones. I did the sheetrock. I'm not great at sheetrock, but I did it, and then painted it. The floor. So that came up because, well, I'm not a carpenter really, and then I've got one of them's kind of bubbled up, but I just moved my 3D printer out here, and this TV is going to get moved. Well, that TV is going away, and I'm going to put I'm going to bring the screen from inside the house and put it in, and then probably a love seat and an ottoman. Originally, I had a couple of club chairs. They just weren't comfortable. No, I didn't have club chairs. I had my daughter's couch that she left behind, but it was kind of old and smelly, and I decided no. So we got rid of it, and I'm about to replace it. Like I said, I think a love seat with an ottoman so I can hang out here. But my original vision when I put all this together was that, be able to hang out here, play Xbox and all like that, but end up in the house anyway. But the shelves are all new, and I'm in the process of unpacking stuff. One of the things, there used to be a door here, but I framed it in and put in, there's a box for that AC, and you can't see it. There's an outlet down below that I've got to trench back to the house. I'm going to have an electrician hook up another 20 amp breaker for me so that I can, the AC won't pop the breaker, or I can put, multiple heaters. I shouldn't jerk the camera like that, sorry. But one of the things I learned doing electrical, which I should have known, see the tape? I need to replace that, put an outlet cover. I just damn near burned this place down because you do not mix copper and aluminum. Okay, so if you're doing your own wiring, do not mix copper and aluminum. So I've been replacing outlets. Several of the outlets are actually aluminum, but all copper wire. Don't do that. Then you can see my network goes in. So it goes up to the top. There's network jack, RJ, whatever, 45 up there. Then there's over on this end, and the same up on the top on the shelf. So my idea was like the Xbox sits up there. I can put other things on here. Up there, there's a hub. And then, so the videos I've been doing with Raspberry Pis, that's the 4 Raspberry Pis that I have in the video that we're setting up. And then on my desk is my Mac Studio, and somewhere underneath the thing is my Raspberry Pi 5 that's hosting Ollama. So the reason I have that stand is that's a biomorph desk, sit to stand. The issue is when you're standing up, if you put the displays on the desk, you're still looking down. By putting it up on a riser like that, I'm looking straight ahead when I raise the desk all the way up. A lot of the time I actually sit on a plyo box because it's low enough for the dogs to jump up on with me and make sure I don't actually get any work done. So this is my office and where I'm working. I'm gonna have to add, it occurs to me, Need to add another UPS because I don't want the Bamboo printer directly on the house current, because any fluctuation, stuff like that, can damage it. So we'll move everything over onto get another UPS for it. So this is my office, and this is where I'm working. Oh, so one of the things, this stuff here, that's from my dog Kaiser. He passed away when we moved here. My plan is to take and cover this with epoxy, just clear epoxy, because I don't want that fixed. It's a reminder to me of who caused this small wolf pack that I have. He's the reason. And then I forget who does all the artwork. I buy her stuff all the time. Dappermouth, I think. Absolutely love what she does. That picture there, that is Kaiser, who I was talking about. And then we've got our X-Files poster. And I've got some other ones, but I need a whiteboard. Anyway, that's the office that I've built and will continue adding on to. There's other things that I have in mind for this. So, which brings me around to talking about information warfare, which I realize that's a really weird segue, but hey, this is a POC. I'm trying to figure out how to do this type of vlogging, because just doing the talking head stuff it's fine, but I don't think in the long run that's not what I want to stick with. And for certain topics, I think this works well, and for other things, like I'm going to continue. Those Raspberry Pi videos are going to lead into doing local AI, but those I will probably stick to doing more of a Pluralsight, a sort of Pluralsight style of video, where screencasting, PowerPoint slides, showing you on screen what's typed and all like that, but then also this type of discussion. So, and 3. All right, so let's talk about information warfare. So, Sammy, Rosie. So in the foreground's Rosie. She's like 14 years old. She was one of our first foster fails. But, oh my God, Carly, kids. They say working with animal kids and dogs. Stop it. Carly, come on. Don't knock the camera over. Quit. Carly, it's enough. Darling. God. Anyway, so information warfare. I'm going to use this example, and might upset some people, but we'll be objective here. So there was a meme a while ago. I've wanted to talk about this for a while because I think it's very interesting. It goes that the meme was that Chelsea Clinton received $84 million from USAID, which it's interesting. It is USA, as in USA, United States of America, ID, international something or other, development. That's it. Not US aid, United States aid. So it's interesting, depending upon, this is kind of where I'm going with information warfare, depending upon who you are talking to. Oh, this is trap. Depending upon who you're talking to, you can kind of tell which side they're going to be on. If they say USAID, they're on one side. If they say USAID, they're on another side. So keep that in mind. And why should you, kind of where I'm going with all of this is that as a technologically astute person, you have to be very aware of the aspects of information warfare. Now I got Sergeant coming in here. Ow, I'm not a chew toy. Because it's going on constantly all over the place. And it has a lot of different dimensions. Sometimes it is outright warfare. Sometimes it's psychological. Sometimes it's marketing. It's using information to produce an outcome that you're after in your interest. And so I'm watching because Gremlin's going to grab my flip-flops and then they won't be flip-flops anymore. So this whole USAID thing, kind of telegraphing my opinion about it. It said that Chelsea Clinton got, we'll call it $84 million. I don't remember the exact amount. And that $10 million was spent on a mansion, and I don't remember how much, $1 million or $3 million went to a wedding, her wedding. And Snopes went after it and went, false. That's not true. Chelsea Clinton, and you go read the Snopes, what they say specifically is Chelsea Clinton did not receive that money. It went to the Clinton Foundation. Okay. Well, here's the interesting thing with that. One, what Snopes said is, I would say, true. But notice, no mention of the mansion or the wedding. So you're like, okay, well, how's that work? Well, and just, disclaimer, just redneck over here talking. I don't know shit about fuck. First thing is, you do not ever have your name put on a check. You create a foundation or a corporation or something, and they receive the check. If you're able to qualify as a 501c3, say you're a dog rescue, then you don't pay any taxes on that money, which is why you put the name of your foundation, have the name of your foundation put on that check, not your name. Then that money goes into the foundation. All right, how does that help you? Well, you're going to have a board meeting, and you're going to go to this place in Rhinebeck, New York. And, at this board meeting, you're going to have catering, and you're going to have some speakers come, and God, somebody is lit up. You got eye boogers. You're going to have, entertainment and things like that. I mean, when I worked for Microsoft, we had, the Microsoft Technical Briefing, MTB, in San Diego, California. And they had all sorts of events for us and, as employees of Microsoft. And they had, wonderful food. They paid for my plane ticket to go. They paid for my hotel. And there was entertainment and all sorts of stuff. All of that was written off on their taxes. Well, same thing for your 501c3. So you have this event, your board meeting, where you and the other board members are going to get together and you're going to talk about your foundation's business while you're there. And, oh, hey, for the entertainment, why don't we have our wedding? All right. So the foundation writes the check to cover this event. And as far as I know, and please, if you happen to be an accountant or you know this area well, comment. Am I wrong? Do I have this? Am I getting it wrong? So you have that. Well, what about the mansion? Well, I grew up in Indonesia, and my dad worked for Conoco. And they paid for our house. They paid for our driver. They paid for the car. We had a VW microbus. It was good. An SUV before there were SUVs, really. But I had braces. They paid for me to fly to Singapore every month to see the orthodontist. So good stuff. Well, you are a board member of the foundation, and the foundation has business in New York City. So it's you have a flat that the foundation leases or buys, whatever. They got to furnish it and the services and all like that. So $10 million to cover the cost of a place for you to stay when you're in New York City doing the business of the foundation. And well, given that your foundation deals with, Africa and Haiti and stuff like that, you need to be near the UN. So that's why you need this flat in New York City, not in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or some, back. Good God, you're gonna kill somebody with that. Sorry, I realize this is distracting as hell, but like I said, it's proof of concept. That's my excuse. So the whole thing is, that Snopes in their fact check, they did address that, that money did not go to Chelsea Clinton. No argument. But you notice they don't address the other line items, going with the idea that, hey, we've already addressed the source of the money, so the rest of this is irrelevant. But it's not really. And that's kind of where the aspect of information warfare comes into this. First thing is, on both sides. On one side, the people who don't like what Musk is doing, and is it Doggy or Doge? Anyway, what they're doing, exposing all of this stuff, there's two sides. One side loves it. Personally, I'm on that side. I think it's not in the interest, whether you're a liberal or a conservative. Government corruption is not in anybody's interest. The reason one side is all upset is because it's favored them. But think about what happens. Say Trump succeeds in doing what he does and he replaces everybody, and all of a sudden all the people he replaces that he puts into positions, they start doing the exact same thing, except it starts favoring Republicans. Are you going to like that? No. If you're a liberal and you don't like Republicans, and all of a sudden the Republicans start doing that, oh my God, this is bad. Well, then it's bad regardless of the political affiliation. The government should be absolutely neutral. Honestly, my political leanings are more chaotic. I'm just about an anarchist. I think people should abide by contract, and that's it. But I'm a dumb redneck, and I'm rather naive that way, that people will actually do what they say and say what they do. But my point behind information warfare, just as a person who works in technology, you have to pay attention to this stuff very closely, because the way people use language and the things that they talk about and the things they do not talk about are crucially important to pay attention to. What is not being talked about? And with the things that are talked about, how are they talking about it? And you have to listen to both sides. You have to take the time to actually go do, it's, just along this line. You have to do your own research, and as a great example of information warfare, look at what happened with the way in which social media companies would basically block any content that went contrary to the narrative. There was no open discussion. There was no, well, here's this, but this. None of that happened. It's in a modern society where information is so available, you have to take the responsibility upon yourself to go look at this stuff. Another example, food. I keep seeing the stuff. Seed oils. Oh my God, seed oils are bad. They're processed. They're just processed just like petroleum. Problem is if you take the time to go read, they've studied the out of this stuff. And it's not doing what these guys are saying. The thing is, but why are so many people, sick and obese? Why is there so much chronic disease? Well, could it be because you're eating way too much food and you're completely sedentary? You're sitting in your lazy boy watching the Netflix for 6 hours a day instead of, spending even 30 minutes in a gym getting your heart rate over 120 beats per minute. That has nothing to do with it. It's the seed oils that are making everybody sick. I saw a thing, this doctor, is, oh my God, all these ultra processed foods are killing people. And it's like, okay, blame the ultra processed foods, which I'll concede. There's a lot of stuff going on that's like, wow, that's not good. But nobody wants to take responsibility for the fact that, I'm sorry, but the Keebler elves are not coming into your house, putting a gun to your head and making you eat all their cookies. Ronald McDonald is not, putting a knife in your ribs and making you eat the Big Mac. You went, spent your money, a lot of money, for a Big Mac. That stuff's gotten expensive. For what it is, it's stupid expensive. Instead of taking the time and cooking for yourself and controlling the food, people are going off and eating, this really highly processed food. Now, the food companies, I saw this thing, they were talking about the fact that the food scientists, drugs like Ozempic and, all the GLP-1s are actually having an impact on the market. Because suddenly these people who used to eat a whole lot of food are no longer eating food in the quantities that they used to eat them. And, so the food companies are not going to take this laying down. They're going in and they're finding ways to make their food bypass what the GLP-1 inhibitors are doing. So they're making their food more addictive. Which the scary part to that is, hey, Trap, you make a better door than window. So just with the foods being made more addictive, they're like, oh, we'll make it more crunchy. We'll make the salty hit you better so that you'll want to eat more of it. Well, what's going to happen to people who don't take GLP-1 inhibitors? What's going to happen to them? Are we going to see like just a huge mass increase? But again, and it does get difficult. How do you hold people responsible for their actions when the actions of other people are, mixing into this that, hey, I'm making this stuff more addictive? I mean, social media. YouTube wants to keep you watching. I want to keep you watching. I hope you watch this far. YouTube takes and, rewards creators who keep people watching their videos. That's why Mr. Beast, those rapid cuts and all the various things. Hey, I got to make my hook just right to keep you watching. I've got to hook you and hook you and hook you throughout my video to keep you watching. We're doing all of these things. And this is why I'm so big about information warfare, is you have to be aware of what's going on. How are you being manipulated? And what action should you take? In the case of my videos, you should just keep watching because I have nothing but the best intents for you. Really, I want to teach you how to use all this cool tech. which will be a cool segue into talking about the local AI stuff that I'm doing. So I've already put up a couple of videos about Raspberry Pis. So I put up a video, show you how to make the base image, and it's all set up. You got Docker and everything put in there. And then I followed it up with how to configure it so you can monitor with New Relic if you want. It's pretty easy to do. And it's pretty cool, though. You can see what your Raspberry Pi is doing, and you can set up alerts to let you know that, hey, it's crashed, it's not working anymore, so that you can go reboot it. The next step is, and I've got this working, but I'm going to redo some things because as I've put it together, I've learned a lot, and I'm going to pass on what I've learned. So I'm going to create Docker Compose files for all the different components, and that's the last thing I have to do. And then I can stand it up, and I'm going to demonstrate how you set up a cluster of Raspberry Pis. And it's actually a Mac Mini, a Dell Precision workstation. It's like 10 years old at this point, but it's still, with 64 gig of RAM and a 2 gig Xeon, it does a pretty good job keeping up. So, anyway, it's a lot of hardware that I'm spreading it across, and it's all commodity stuff in general. I could just do it all with Raspberry Pi 5s, but a lot of the machines that I have just laying around, I showed you earlier, my stack of 4 Raspberry Pis, they're Raspberry Pi 4s. Turns out, though, the Raspberry Pi 4 doesn't have enough memory to do much in the way of an Ollama model. They're all too big for the 1 gig of memory that's in a Raspberry Pi 4. So I had to get a Pi 5. No big deal. They're pretty cheap. So if I was you, I would get my hands on a stack of Raspberry Pi 5s to play along with what I'm setting up. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap this up. And this is just supposed to be a proof of concept. The idea is this. I watch quite a few YouTube videos. I work from home. I'm blessed that way. And it's funny, we had an IT town hall and our CIO was talking, and it came up, hey, what about this return to office nonsense? Which I'd love to, we'll get into that stuff later. But he said that, look, our organization, I work for a healthcare provider, and we're nationwide. We're one of the biggest. And he's like, we don't have anywhere to put you guys. We can't return to office. And I was working remote before all of this COVID nonsense. So their strategy has always been to use remote. And the benefit of it is they can recruit people from anywhere in the country. I actually had a guy on my team who was living in Colombia. So, and I mean, an American citizen living in Colombia. So that's cool. But anyway, where was I going? I'm trying to wrap this up. I have no idea. So if you made it this far, this is a proof of concept. The idea of other YouTubers who I watch, because I use it for sound. I'm out here in my office all day. I just got the dogs to amuse me. And while they're very funny, they're not much conversationalists. So I'm listening to various YouTubers and things through the day just to make noise. And I want to do something instead of just just talking head. I'd like to do more dramatic, cinematic type stuff. I got no idea. It's entirely a learning experience. It should be hilarious for you to watch me figure this crap out. Anyway, if you made it this far, bless you. Thank you. And give me a like and a subscribe. I'd love comments. I'm always happy to talk with people. Anyway, I'm going to go finish my Sunday. We're going to go play some DayZ and throw the ball for the dogs and figure out what's for dinner.